All right, thank you for being here, everybody. My name is Kayleen, and welcome to another episode of Universal Astrology. It is the 18th of August, 2020, and it is a day ruled by fire, if you can't tell. So how this is set up here is we've got the sun over there, and its day ruler, which is Mars, which is a fire sign, fire-ruled planet anyways. And then today, we've got a lot of fire. I don't know if you guys can see, but on the chart screen down here and that way is a box of elements giving power or points or sometimes percentages to what's going on in the chart, and then giving us an idea of what the elemental balance is. So earth and air are in the negative. So there's not a lot of earth and air. There's a lot of fire, and there's a decent amount of water involved in today too. So we'll just keep that in mind, particularly because it's the day of Mars. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but like the days of the week are totally lined up with the planets that rule them. Sunday being ruled by the sun, Saturday being ruled by Saturn, Friday being ruled by Venus. So Friday, there's a reason why everyone's like, oh yeah, Friday, it's like the greatest day to go on dates, to go have social and living and environment, so on and so forth. Today is Tuesday, and so usually Tuesday there's a lot of activity, where Monday is usually crazy. It's hectic, it's ruled by the moon, there's a lot of emotional stuff. You get back to work, everything kind of trying to get situated. What are you going to do with the week? Did you get everything done last week? What's going on? And then by Tuesday, you're like, okay, now here's my to-do list. And you're looking at this like, oh my gosh, there's a lot to be done. So there's usually a lot of activity on Tuesdays. And when it's going like crazy on a fire day, I just expect a lot of activity. Now, to boost this even more, and what's giving so much fire energy into this is the fact that the sun has moved into Leo officially. So you can see this on the chart if I get into it. So here we go. Sun at 1 degrees Leo. Now, let's also keep in mind that I'll throw up a little window here. Hold on. It's the bottom left. I want here we go. So here's a window to show you that we are basically in the window of the new moon. Okay, so this actually goes perfect here pretty soon. So I'm going to take this down and give you guys the look of the 3D today. So here's kind of what this looks like. Remember, we've got Mercury, Sun, Moon, Earth, and I tweeted about this a little bit. So it's not perfect yet, but it's really, really, really close. So if we look at this from the sun's view, straight head on like this, it looks like the moon is totally in view. But if we look from an Earth-centered view, this is where we would see that we're losing sight of the moon. It's lining up. And I think it's beautiful that, the symmetry, if you think about it, when eclipses and things happen, this is not an eclipse, but this is just new moon and what it looks like. But kind of interesting. Now, I was kind of getting into it last night, studying this a little bit, and looking at it on my app. And so one of the things that really caught my attention about today and tomorrow is Ceres is right here and making a lot of unique aspects to the planets right now, because again, everything's really lined up, and there's just symmetry between the three here of this triangle, and they're all close together, which doesn't always happen. Usually things are pretty spread out, but again, we've got this group here and then this line here, and there's just some really beautiful lineups happening, and kind of a lot going on with solar activity and stuff. So that's that. We'll keep going around here and looking. So this is geocentric, obviously. Mercury has also entered into Leo. So we might find ourselves in the mental realm a little bit more active, and thinking might just be a little more fiery and eccentric. We might have good ideas, might be able to go out and adventure a little bit more, especially because the sun, the sun is here. The sun and Mercury are always kind of close together in signs. They're always in the same sign or close by each other. So they go hand in hand. You're thinking on the inside and what you feel. Venus is never really far behind either. So the inner planets of Mercury and Venus stay pretty close knit usually. And what else we got? News. Mars is going to be out of Pisces from geocentric within 24 hours. It'll be getting into Aries, which is also another fire sign. Oh boy. So we're going to have a lot of fiery energy for a little while as the sun and Mars go through fire signs. Jupiter, Pluto, they aren't going to be going anywhere anytime fast as far as retrospect of the next week or two. So they're also going to be in fire signs. So this is the warning that there is just a lot of action and power, force, passion that's going to be coming our way and in our lives. Starting now, probably lasting at least a couple of weeks. Okay, so I'm looking over here, so I'll explain kind of what you're seeing on the screen for any new viewers that I might have. On the screen here, you've got icons on the right and the left. So how this is working, because there's an extra sign more than the planets listed. So the top sign is attributed to either the sun or the earth. So you can tell what sign the sun is in by looking straight down. Why does it say Cancer? It should say Leo. I can change that. I changed it this morning, but I guess I missed the sun sign. So I will change it. Hold on one second. There we go. Okay, so the sun is in Leo. And so you can see that by looking down at the icon if I have it correct. And then that means that the planets have their signs attributed to them just right down below. So we can see that on one side, Mercury's in Leo, Venus is in Gemini, Jupiter, Sagittarius, Neptune, Aquarius, North Node, Gemini. On the other side, we've got the Earth sign in a geocentric chart. That's key to remember, is technically Virgo. Then Mars, Pisces, down, okay? Why are they on? How did I choose? Why aren't they just in order from geocentric? I did this mostly for myself and to help viewers to understand that there is kind of a good guy and a bad guy team to a certain extent. When we see aspects and we see relations and you hear me talk about certain planets, most of the time the planets and the sun, so Sun, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Neptune, North Node, these are usually, not always, usually beneficial relations and can bring beneficial things into our lives most easily. So most of the time, if things are connecting with any of them, then we can assume it to be hopefully a positive force or action, Whereas if we see connections on this side, these are a lot more explosive or challenging, or they have a tendency to bring about rather large or extreme or sudden forces in our lives. So this isn't a totally just like a good evil. By no means are these planets good, all good or all bad. They definitely have their qualities as they should as rulers within the solar system in which we live. So just for example, let's see. In here, we've got any of these red lines are squares, that's 90 degree angles to each other, whereas the blue in this case is trines, which let's do some math here. It's too early. Yeah, 120. I was 120. Okay, so which is a perfect triangle if you were to have all of them. So when we have, let's play with this a little bit and you can kind of use the screen if you want. Jupiter is trining over to the midheaven, which is the brink of the 10th house. Mars is squaring Pluto. The moon and Earth are also squaring this house 10 midheaven point. The closest thing to this midheaven point is Uranus in Aries. What's the green? The green is semi in this case, I think they are, yes, they are sextiles. So this is usually a positive window of opportunity is kind of where I like to consider sextiles. They are usually presented as opportunities, short windows of reference or time, and they can a lot of the times kind of be a window or a gateway in a chart. And so a lot of times they don't last long, they go by rather quickly. So we'll put a lot of weight into the trines and squares, and sextiles can be looked at as where is whatever's happening going to be seen, what's going to be entering or leaving because of the more primary aspects that we see in a chart. So there's a little bit about how you guys can make sense of some of this if you know the basics of the zodiac and if you know the basics of the planets from reading the basic descriptions. The complications of understanding astrology really comes in what are you looking at? And then understanding, to me, I think it's really important to start to then understand what it looks like. What are you actually looking at? And this is why and when you start to have to choose which systems that you want to look at in a chart, and then discerning what chart to use for when and what you're looking at. So that's a little bit about what's going on. Typically, this is probably where I would end the universal astrology episode. However, because of what's going on and what I covered yesterday, I want to just take a look at that because I don't have a longer stream today. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a longer episode so that we can still keep up on that news. So let's do it. I'm going to switch over to my other screen. Oh, let's see. I'm just setting up my screen. I will be right back. Okay. All right. Okay, so hubby let me know that there was no audio just now. So we're gonna switch back over and just do screen capture on this other screen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're amazing. I appreciate you so, so much. Okay. Yeah, some of my screens are kind of messy right now as I try and just set up my stream for everything. I'm new at the streaming thing, so just trying to still get everything hooked up. Where is it? There we go. Okay, so now that you guys can hear me, I will start again. There was what I was talking about is this 6.6 earthquake that happened here. Since then, there has been two other 4.8 and a 4.6. Also to note, there was one closer to my area again, up here, that was rather, it's not listed here anymore, but it was a 5 point something. So there's definitely been some uptick in earthquakes. Why? Well, let's make sure this is as new as we can get. But over the weekend, there was a C-class flare and a solar eruption, a CME. So here we can see that. And it is going to raise the surface. So in other words, we're gonna go through that area of mass that the sun gave us. So there it is, boom. What does that look like? Let's look at it. Hopefully this is still, I have a copy of it. Oh, this isn't gonna show it. Well, we'll see if there's anything new. There it is. Did you see it? So I'll start over in a second. Alright, so what you're watching for is this area, and it's like a boosh. Oh, there's a pop-off too. Okay, so there it was. I'm just now taking a look because this is fresh data about anything else that I see. I don't see anything else, at least from that angstrom. So this is a lower, or actually technically higher, 405. It's just seeing the sun in a different light spectrum. So there's a lot of activity up here on the limb too. And this is about the same time as the flare, which we probably won't be able to see. Okay, it just started over. There it is. Wow, you can see it on here. But it's just a lot. I think this solar cycle is going to be a little bit more than they anticipated. Maybe not by a lot. They do anticipate this solar cycle of 25 to be a little more than there was solar cycle 24. We'll just have to see how it goes. But so there's a lot of bubbling activity here, right here, going on too after this flare. Just more recently, there's quite a bit more activity on the sun than we've been seeing over the last couple of, just even the last couple of weeks. Like the sun is definitely like waking up. Interesting to note too that the flare, or the CME that just came our way, So it's still right here. So this is the moment of the explosion on the 18th. This is a sun-centered, heliocentric, or sun-centered chart, meaning the sun is in the center and all the planets are then positioned around the sun. It went off in the general direction of Earth. So what I was going to see is what other planets might, get an impact from this. Now I haven't done this. I didn't look at this yesterday. So we need to make this as realistic as possible as well. So realistically, we're gonna start this at about the 15th, which is last Friday, and just make this spin real slowly. It's already we have the time set, so now I'm going to actually go back to the 15th. Okay, so what we need to keep in mind is that the sun is rotating itself just like the sun is rotating itself, spinning in its own way, but it's then going around, well, at least the planets are going around the sun while the sun Saturn does this. So when something is ejected in these large masses out towards Earth, it's not a straight shot because it's spinning around. So that's why, even if it was a straight shot, by the time the Earth would have spun and Earth would have spun, you've got to take that spin. Just imagine, if you're holding a hose and you point it straight at someone, it's going to be straight at someone. But as soon as you start to spin around while you're holding the hose, it's going in a circle around you. So that's kind of what the image that you can hold in your mind when you're thinking about this stuff. So this was Earth directed, meaning it's headed towards us in some way, shape, or form. It's going to take a while to get there. Now, this is something that went off on the 16th, hour 16, that's UTC time. So this happened on the 16th, but it isn't going to get to us until today and tomorrow. Most likely, most of the effect that we're going to feel is predicted to be tomorrow. So I'm just warning you guys because the impact of what we saw on our screens hasn't gotten to us yet. We've felt the effects of the flare already, and we've had those quakes, but the eruption that we've seen on our screens that I've been covering the last couple of days, we have not been hit yet. It is scheduled to impact us and begin to impact us tomorrow. So just a little bit of a pre-warning that looks like the other planets that will or have maybe gotten this. So on the 16th, let's just play this. We'll do it a little bit more. So 1 hour at a time. It's not going to be directed at Mercury. So this is the day that this happened, on the 16th, moving forward. So point being is things, when you look at it like this, are moving and spinning. So anything in the general direct vicinity of this, I hate how I have to pause this way over here. Earth, Mars, Ceres. Not to say that everything else as this spins out into space isn't also going to be hit with this, because it's just going to keep going and it's going to keep growing. That's the thing, that we tend to disappear and disregard things in our mind once they've happened and we consider them part of the past. However, that is not how it works in space. So this is going to hit and impact Earth, and then it's going to continue to grow as it gets farther out, and this stuff is going to just continue to spread apart. And so if it's hitting, it's going to hit Mars and Jupiter, it's definitely going to reach its way out to Neptune, and because it's spinning in this fashion, it'll parts of this will probably get to Saturn and Pluto as well. The entire system will probably feel the effects of this at some point, but months from now, Neptune will finally get a little taste of the solar explosion that we will be feeling tomorrow. Kind of cool if you think about that stuff. And how they play into the parts of this is kind of interesting too, because I pulled some cards yesterday, and one of the things that it said to watch for this week was Capricorn and Neptune. So maybe that's what that was about. Is there anything else that I should show you guys, or that you would like to see or ask questions about in regards to the charts that you see? Yeah, thanks for being here, Bjorky. I appreciate you stepping in. Actually, I was having super big issues, and as a new streamer, I'm definitely doing everything I can to fix it. Hopefully it's better today. To be honest, it's the only reason I'm having so many tech issues is because I have really good equipment to use now. Like, I have a professional mic that I can actually tweak settings on, so sometimes I just get a little bit caught up with that and do crap wrong, and then I gotta get on and do it better. So if you guys have any questions, I'm going to stay on the stream for a little bit longer and get this uploaded as a episode. So thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And thanks for being here at the stream. All right.